Hello, we're going to go on with another non-calculator lesson today. So to start with, we've got a couple of algebra questions to cast our minds back to a few weeks ago. So first of all, factorising y squared minus 25. So remember the steps that you go through for factorising is first of all, you look to see if there are any common factors in your terms, and we don't have common factors there. So the next step is we think, is it a difference of two squares? And remember, squares are the answer that you get when you square something. So this is y squared and this is 5 squared. And we do have a difference because that's a minus. So remember how we factorise a difference of two squares is this goes at the beginning of both brackets. This goes at the end of both brackets. And then we have one plus and one minus. Okay, so that's that one done. Next one, expand and simplify. So we've got three things multiplying together here. We've got the 5, the x plus 3, and the 2x minus 1. And so when we're multiplying three things together, what we do is multiply two of the things together and then multiply our answer by the third thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply out the 5x plus 3, and then we're going to multiply the answer by 2x minus 1. So 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 3 is 15. So that's what we've got for the answer to this circled multiplication now, which we're going to multiply by 2x minus 1. And then we're going to, let's use FOIL this time. Remember, we've got different methods for multiplying out two brackets. So first, you've got 5x times 2x. So that's 10x squared. The outsides are the two that are furthest away from each other. So you've got 5x times negative 1 is minus 5x. The insides, I for insides, so that's the two that are closest together. We've got 15 times 2x, so that's plus 30x. And then the lasts, we've got the last things in the brackets, so that's 15 times negative 1, so that's minus 15. And then we collect like terms. So we've got 10x squared, and then you've got minus 5x and plus 30x. So we've got plus 25x altogether and minus 15. So that is the answer to that one. Okay, so remember and look back at any of these lessons if you need a recap. In the next day or so, I'm going to be updating the list of what's in the videos, so I'll publish that to make it easier for you to find things. Okay, all right, so the plan that we're on at the moment is looking at your number skills, and yesterday we looked at long multiplication. I hope you managed that okay, bit of a blast from the past possibly. So today we're doing multiplying and dividing by powers of 10, so that would be like 10, 100, 1,000, etc, and their multiples. So let's splash on with this. Now, I'm going right back to basics with this because it's really important. So if this is too straightforward for you, just skip it, okay? If you are absolutely fine with this, just have a look at today's practice questions, and if you can manage them fine, then you don't need to watch the rest of the video. It's up to you. Okay, so when we're multiplying and dividing by powers of 10, so what I've got here is a little grid, and I've put some of the column names on, so we're going, like I say, we're going right back to basics. So the decimal point is going to be on this line here. And then anything in this column is a unit. Anything in this column is tens, hundreds, thousands. And then on the other side of the decimal point, we've got tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Okay, we'd have 10,000ths if we put that column in as well. Okay, and what happens as we move digits between the columns is every time you go a jump to the left, it's not the time warp, you're getting 10 times bigger. Okay, and every time you take a jump to the right, and bring your knees in tight, then you're getting 10 times smaller, so you're dividing by 10. So every time you go one space to the right, you're dividing by 10. Okay, so then what we need to think about is how our numbers look. So for example, if we wanted to work out 3.95 times 10, then we would need to put 3.95 in the right columns. So I'm going to put the 3, well, the point is always going to be here, okay? So the 3 has to go in front of the point, and then the 9 and the 5. So that automatically puts the 3 and the 9 and the 5 in the correct columns. And if we're multiplying by 10, everything's going to move one space to the left, okay? So the 3 is going to go there, then the 9, and then the 5. But do bear in mind that the decimal point always stays where it is. Okay, we don't move the point. So the answer to 3.95 times 10 would be, we can see 39.5. Okay, if we were to work out, let's say 76 divided by 1,000, then we put 76 in the right place to start with. And so in 76, the 7 is a 10 and the 6 is a unit. So the decimal point in 76 would come after the 6. So if we're dividing by 1,000, then that's got 3 zeros. So we're needing to move our digits 3 places to the right, because we divide by 10 and again and again. Okay, so if we moved 1 place, the figures would be there. 2 places, they'd be there. 3 places, they're there. Okay, now remember, the decimal point always stays on that line, and we can't have a space in between the decimal point and the numbers. That doesn't make any sense. So we need to stick a 0 in there to hold the 7 and the 6 in the right columns. When we've got a decimal point with nothing in front of it, we put a 0 in front of it. So the answer to 76 divided by 1,000 is 0.076. Right, so I just use the squares there to give you an idea. So without squared paper, let's have a check. So 4.9 times 1,000. Okay, so when we are moving our digits to the left, you just need to think what happens each time you move them once. All right, so in 4.9, if you move the digits 1 place to the left, it would be 49.0, but we wouldn't need the 0.0. If you move 2 places, it'd be 490, and 3 places would be 4,900. So that's the answer to that one. Okay, so we're just moving our digits to the left or the right a certain number of spaces. Okay, so 62.8 divided by 100, so we're dividing, so we're going to the right this time. So 62.8 divided by 10, so that's moving 1 place, would be 6.28, because you can see that the 2 would then be on that side of the decimal point. Moving it 2 places, the 6 is now going to the right of the decimal point, so that gives us 0.6 and then the other digits. So that's the answer there. 0.09 times 10. Well, when we move everything 1 place to the right, we need, basically, the 9 has to be in the 3rd decimal place, so that's 0.009. 7 divided by 1,000. Well, 1 decimal place would make it 0.7, or sorry, moving 1 place would make it 0.7. 2 places would 0.07, but we've got 3 zeros here, so we need to move 3 places, which puts it at 0.007. And then the last one, 0.38 times 10, so we're moving to the left 1 space this time. So the 3 will end up in front of the decimal point, but the 8 is behind it. Okay, so that's just a little recap. You can always imagine your squared paper if you want, or even if you're working on squared paper, there's nothing to stop you putting your decimal points on one of your lines and then moving your digits about. Okay, so now that we can multiply and divide by 10 and 100 and 1,000, we need to be able to do that with multiples of powers of 10. So when we're doing a question like 5.3 times 200, what we need to remember is that that's the same as 5.3 times 2 times 100. Okay, if you break it down like that, then you can do 5.3 times 2. You can probably do that in your head anyway, that's just 10.6. And then times that by 100. So then you do your place moving. So we need to move 2 spaces to the left. So that would make, if it was 1 space, it would be 106. But 2 spaces is 1060. Okay, next one. 7.8 divided by 200 is the same as 7.8. Now, if you're dividing by 200, you're dividing by 2 and you're dividing by 100. Don't be tricked into thinking that because 200 is 2 times 100 that you're doing divide by 2 and times by 100. That's not the case, because we need to divide by 200. Okay, so 7.8 divided by 2, we can just do a quick thing at the side there if you're not able to do that in your head. So 2 into 7 goes 3 times, remainder 1. And then 2 into 18 goes 9. So that's 7.8 divided by 2 is 3.9. So we're dividing that by 100. So dividing by 10, so moving 1 space to the right, would give us 0.39. So we need to move another space to put the 3 into the second decimal place. So that's 0.039. Okay, so 3 divided by 50 is 3 divided by 5 divided by 10. Okay, so 3 divided by 5, well, 5 doesn't go into 3, so we carry the 3, and 5 into 30 goes 6 times. So this is 0.6 divided by 10, so the 6 needs to move into the second decimal place to give you 0.06. Okay, and then next, 2.7 divided by 9,000 is 2.7, excuse me, divided by 9 divided by 1,000. Okay, so 2.7 divided by 9, well, 27 divided by 9 is 3, so 2.7 divided by 9 must be 0.3. You can always do one of them if you want, if you don't believe me. Okay, so we're dividing that by 1,000. So this 3 has got to move 3 spaces to the right. Okay, so it's going to put it, it's already in the first decimal place, so moving it 3 spaces to the right is going to put it into the 4th decimal place. So because it's moved from here 1, 2, 3. Okay, next one, 42.3 times 80. So we're going to do 42.3, it'll be times 8 and then times 10. Okay, and of course it doesn't matter what order you do these in when you're doing a multiplication that's got more than 2 things. So if you wanted to, you can just do the 42.3 times 10 and then times your answer by 8. It doesn't matter, but let's just stick with what we've been doing. So 42.3 times 8, so 3 8s are 24, 2 8s are 16, add the 2, makes 18, and 4 8s are 32, add the 1, makes 33. We've got 1 decimal place in the question, so 1 in the answer. So what we're doing is 338.4 times 10, so that just moves everything to the left of the decimal point, 3384. The next one, if we're dividing 903 by 3,000, then we're dividing by 3 and we're dividing by 1,000. Okay, so 903 divided by 3 is 301. And if we divide back by 1,000, it means that the 3 is going to move 3 places. So 1, 2, 3. So the 3 is going to be in the first decimal place, so 0.301. And then the last one, this is all for today, 0.02 times 500, so 0.02 times 5, and then times 100. So again, it doesn't matter which way round you do these. So I would maybe think about doing 0.02 times 100, because moving the 2 places to the left just gives you 2. So 2 whole ones. So this is just 2 times 5. So it's 10. So that's all we're going to do for today. We've really just gone over work that you've done lower down the school, but you do need to be able to do this because you do have a non-calculator element to your National 5 assessment. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow for some more number work.